productive lives again. So hello, Lawanda, how are you feeling this morning? So let us get the show on the road. Really, seriously, guys. So, isn't that a deep thing? I'm asking you to look at this question of our topic for today. Our topic is really a little bit different from what I'm always saying, what we should do, what we have to think, what is going on. So, is there, when somebody asks you, you tell me about yourself, it's not only in an interview when you're looking for a job. Sometimes the person wants to, how do you describe yourself? Because that's very important. What do you talk about when you talk about yourself? Because sometimes we forget that talking about ourselves is important, and how we bring it through is even more important. So the question I'm asking, I'm saying how to introduce yourself, and I would really like what you have to say. What do you tell people when somebody wants to know a little bit more about you? What do you say? And that is really important, because sometimes we forget what we should say instead of what the other thing, right? I'm not telling you yet. And we have to be very thoughtful and ask ourselves this one question: who am I really? And that is the beginning of the question, and that is the beginning of your answer. Because we go through life and we talk about what we do as if that is us. But who are you? And that is a much deeper question. When somebody asks you to tell them about yourself, they're not really asking what you do for a living. What they're really asking is to tell me about you, the person. And what I found out, many of us do not know how to talk about us, the person. We talk, and that is for both men and women. We talk about we, the doer, the human doing, not the human being. And yet, we are human beings. And that is where we lose everything. That's where everything falls, and we cannot pick it up. Because we are so much into what we do. Not who we are, but what we do. And that is not us. That is just actions we must take for survival in many cases. So we can eat. So we can have shelter. So we can drive a car. So we can have money. That is the doing. But we didn't come here to be human doers. We are supposed to realize we are still, no matter what, we are still human beings. And a human being is not the same as a human doer or doing. Because you remember I changed when we ask people, we talk to people, we say, how are you feeling today? That's us. Most people say, how are you doing? And maybe we need to take those words literally. If I want to know how you're feeling, I care about you as a person. But if I want to know what you're doing, I'll ask you, how are you doing? It doesn't even make sense when you put the sentence together. As you know, the most difficult language to learn is the English language. What do you do for a living is a different question. But when I say, tell me about you, Luanda, tell me about you, Lisa, Colin, hi Colin, tell me about you. Not because I don't know you. I might know you as my friend. I know you as the person I care about, person I meet, person I talk, person I know your name, Nancy, all of that, Loretta, I know you like that. But do I really know the core of you? Because it is something bigger than that. And we forget to realize it's more than our actions and our jobs, our role as wives and mothers and grandmothers and all of these other little titles we have. They are not us. They're really just titles. And we need to know when we have a title, it's a title. That's a job, that's a responsibility. But the core is us. And the thing is, why it is so challenging and nobody takes the time to tell us it's two different questions and two different answers is because they themselves don't know. Very few of us really know who are we as a human being. I came across something, yesterday, and it has nothing to do with that, except it has everything to do with that. I remember in 2000 when we were in Europe for a couple of months, just going through things with family, just visiting places. When I got to Spain and we were somewhere, the tree. So I went and I was just leaning against the tree. And when I did that, I felt like I was falling into the tree. And that was the first time I realized the trees have such energy that they give you. That is, they're the sturdiest and strongest things ever. So the other day, yesterday, I'm reading something and it comes, hug a tree. And my family were teasing me, why are you always hugging trees? I had no idea why I was hugging a tree. But I felt a difference. I felt a shift when I had my back against the tree. When I did that to the tree, just to rest my head, I felt different. And I just noted it. So what am I? So they called me a tree hugger. Am I a tree hugger? Is that part of me, or it's just that I want to connect with nature? What is that special thing about you? So your service is not you. What you do is not you. Who you are is in the connection of you. Are you the one that remembers to say thank you? When somebody says thank you to you, are you the one that remembers to say it's my pleasure? I enjoy doing this for you, instead of just saying, oh, it's okay. Who are you? Are you that thoughtful person that will realize how your words and your actions can affect those that hear you and how they react? The thing about the how are you doing kind of person, that kind of person is the person that it's okay to do. And they might do to the point where they figure it's okay to a point to insult you or to say something that is not nice to you or to a child. And they do not realize that child is going to carry that particular stigma, or it might cause a complex. And we don't do that. But we do it anyway. Now that very same person, if you did that to them, well, all hell broke loose. Although when it was done to you, because of their behavior, you just receded and you let it go. You let it fall. You pull in and you didn't take it to heart. So who are you? Are you the bold person that will say whatever comes into your mouth without thinking of the results tomorrow? Because that is who you are. That's the human being you are. It's not your job that defines you. It's who you are within the 5 pillars of our life. We have to realize how our emotions affect us, but it also affects the people around us. So when somebody asks you who you are and you say, oh, I'm a mother, I was a doctor before that, I was a banker, I was a school teacher, I was this, I am a baker, I love, no, that is not you. That is what you do. And we have to learn to answer the question as it comes, because that is an important question. Oh, I am a mortgage person. I sell homes and I arrange loans and mortgages. No, that is not who you are. That is not you, the human being. That is you, the human doing. That's your job. That's not you. And we need to know the difference. In that same job, as a school teacher, as a mortgage person, as a banker, as a baker, we step into the doing a little bit softer. We start to care. I am the person that hear you. You're explaining to me how you want that wedding cake to look. That's my job. But I have to hear more than that. I have to feel what you're saying. You want something, you have it, but you cannot put the words together. So who am I? Am I the person with some empathy? Am I the person that will wait for you to have your say? You see the difference. Even in your job, you can bring the true you to the forefront. Are you the one that will, although it's not your job, but are you the one as a school teacher that notices that this person doesn't look like they brushed their, poor child hasn't brushed their teeth or combed their hair? That is not your job as a teacher. That is your job as a human being, to see a need in another human being. So that's why we have to watch the words we use. As a friend of mine, an grandaunt, told the 4-year-old about the size of his nose. Was that really important? So that 22-year-old person hasn't forgotten that. He hasn't forgotten it. So who is she? My sister told me that so-and-so's cakes or bread is this and mine is like that. I'm an adult. I just looked at her and I just smiled. It didn't bother me, but I remember that. So you see, who are you? What kind of message you send when you talk about somebody? What kind of message when you look at a child and you describe something about them that is in your mind needs to be fixed? Your job, our job, is not to go around the world to look at what is broken in others. That is not the job, and fix it. In some cultures, it is so challenging that it keeps repeating itself. I have a friend, Donato Prezio, he's Italian. And I met him a long time ago. And he was talking to me one day. I have never really met him in person, just on the phone or on the internet. And he said to me something about his father. He played every child, male or female in Toronto, they skate and they play hockey. That's just how it is. So he was playing hockey. He plays hockey for the Scarborough Sabres and all these different teams in Toronto. And he was the goalie. And he still remembers that on the way home, although his team won the game, but the other team scored 1 goal, the only thing the father would be talking about is, how come you let that 1 goal in? Who is he? And then he went on and he said, they tell you, shut up and you don't know anything, you behave, you're just a child. And even if you're thinking, he said, even when I do my best, I keep hearing that all my life. I keep hearing that. Telling a person that they're short, it doesn't matter when you start that. The point is you keep it up. It becomes part of this person's psychic. And that person has it in their mind, and then they compare themselves to others. They look at others and say, their noses are not as big as mine. This guy I played hockey with, his father supported him to the point where today he plays the NHL. I'm just using those things. We say it small. So we have, who are you? Are you the one that sees what is wrong and needs to be fixed all the time? Or are you able to bring what is wonderful and bring it out all the time? Which one are you? And that is what, when they ask you, tell me about yourself, it's not what you do. It's not that I'm a mother, I'm a grandmother, I'm a wife, I'm a this, it's nothing to do with that. It's bringing out that particular little thing. There is a famous man, everybody knows Michael Strahan, everybody knows him. And all his life, when he was young, you are the runt of the litter. We didn't plan for you. We didn't know you were coming. We had no plan for you, but there you are. So all his life he heard that. And he's on Good Morning America, somebody asked him that question a few years ago. I was talking to him and he said, I remember that growing up. And you know when that stopped, he said, but he still remembers it. When I won the ring for football when he played for the Giants. He said, it's only when I improved my family's home, then I was okay. Before that, I was the runt of the litter. I was not planned. I showed up. He still remembers that. So I am saying that because too many times we look at children, a year old, 6 months old, 9 months old, and we see something, broken in them, or something we think, but be careful because they absorb it. And so that's why I always tell the story that my son Michael, he didn't like to sleep during the day. He never slept during the day. It was just Michael. So, but he slept from 7 to 7, so that was great. Except at daycare, he didn't sleep. So because he didn't sleep, you'd pick him up, and the daycare lady, the only thing I could have done was to punch her. Oh, Michael was so horrible. He's such a bad boy. He's 10 months old. He's such a bad boy. He kept everybody awake. He doesn't sleep. Rah, 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 rah. And she looks like a big butterball turkey. And I'm looking at her and I'm thinking, I'd just like to stuff you in the oven and turn it on 6,000 degrees. Anyway, I grabbed my child, put him in the car, and with the voice that I have that I will never make a living from, I sang to him all the way home that he was a good boy, he was beautiful, he was handsome, he was great, he was smart. All the way home. Because one thing I knew for sure, I didn't want him to grow up with those words. So that lady will say, I am a daycare teacher. No, you're not. You are a daycare person that can kill or make a child. You can make that child grow or you can make that child fall. So when somebody uses the derogatory word or something that is limiting to a baby, ask them to stop. If you are guilty of seeing the little thing that would be nice to fix on a person, refrain. And this is why it's very important for us to follow the 4 agreements. The first agreement you make with yourself and others is to use exquisite and impeccable words to speak about others and yourself. We have to learn to find something good in anybody and swallow the thing that we don't like, because we need to stop it. Whether we say it in jest or whether we just say it not because we dislike that person, but we just say it because it is. Like Donato said, that's what they did in our house. They just knocked those things down. And he said, I couldn't live with this. It was hard growing up there. And I always say to people, you have to stop mirroring your childhood. We have to stop taking our childhood and bring it into our present moment and react the same way. Unconsciously, we don't know we are doing it. Neither did he. And that's how he explained it to me. He was so aggressive and he always had to show something that was negative about somebody, and I asked him why. And then he told me the story because that's what he knew. So he was mirroring his own childhood without realizing what he was doing, because that was grounded in him. So when somebody asks you who you are, I am someone that watch what I say, use impeccable and exquisite words. I will take the time to come back at you, maybe another 20 years, but it will not be in the heat of the moment. It will be waiting for the spider and, the spider and the fly. The fly flies and very fast, but the spider waits. So you do not have to show anger and put somebody down all the time. You have to realize there's a time, and it will hurt them because they do not know. Even if you don't do it intentionally, even if it's a soft touch. But, how dare you? I would have never done that to you. But you didn't do anything really. You just said enough is enough. So you see, who are you? Are you the one that's going to pause in the moment, look at it, and use a word that is more acceptable to a human being than a word that is going to take them down 10 pegs or not? Who are you? It's never too late to be a true human being. We have to stop describing ourselves and behaving like we're constantly on the go to fix other human beings into making them human doings according to what we think they should be doing. It doesn't make sense. So be careful when you're asked to describe yourself that you do not talk about your doing. And that's a challenge. It is an amazing challenge to have. How do I change one thing about my behavior today when it comes to seeing others? When we start not with a human, we start with the universe. We start with outside. We start with the tree. We start with the this, the that, small things. What do we see? We see the tree as old and ready to be broken and going to die? Or do we see the tree that is blooming? Only little leaves are coming. The stem, the trunk looks like it's been through everything. Just like me and you when you're older.